Welcome to the bold analysis. ODM party will make a big political mistake if they decide to join hands with William Ruto. And what Kenya Kwanza team must understand is the Sifuna stand that ODM is not joining UDA has been confirmed by the decision of Timothy Bosire.
City, so that the move to allow some of these people to join government was seen as a means of stabilizing the political situation, the democratic state, stabilizing the state as a democratic entity, so that we get an opportunity to kick out President Ruto in a proper forum at proper elections, as democracy dictates. That is the only explanation. And indeed, it does make sense, because at some point, everybody was worried about how this thing would pan out. And examples were given of the situation in places like Sudan, what happened with Egypt. And there was no one, even New City, could not guarantee us that you knew the outcome of that particular process.
Nobody knew.
Yeah, and immediately we had the army on the streets. I mean, it spooked everyone. You don't know those people.
Yes.
You don't know those people. Maybe in the next 20, 30 years, we would be speaking of Kenya in the terms of other countries that we've seen lose it completely. This democracy is a precious thing. And this is why many of us who believe in it will do whatever it takes to ensure that we remain a democratic state, and that when the opportunity comes, which is why I'm very happy with Kenyans right now. Kenyans are just looking at all of us. Yeah. They are just looking at Oscar Sudi prancing around. They can hear what Farah Maalim is saying. They know they are afraid. They know they are afraid. And the day the ballot is put in our hands like this, people will go home en masse.
But is it the thing that I find strange, though? I can understand what you're saying. You have a critical situation and you need all hands on deck. But surely must they speak the way they speak in support of a government that clearly isn't serving the interests of its citizens?
No, they mustn't. And in fact, one of the questions I've asked, and I'll keep asking, is how is it that it's only those CSs who came from ODM that have visibility? You know, some of us, if the Minister for Water walked here, I wouldn't know who that person is. I don't even know his name or her name. I don't know who those people are. Where are these other CSAs who came from UDA? Why don't they speak about 2027 in the terms like the way these 4 or 2? In fact, these days it is not all of them. It's just 2 guys.
Hazard a guess. Why would that be? Hazard a guess.
That's what I'm wondering. I keep asking myself, what is so special about these individuals that they are the only ones? And I have been in meetings, because there was a point at which the leadership of the party thought that they were going overboard. And they were called in our presence as the central committee and told, first of all, you do not have power or authority to speak on behalf of either the Luos, your respective tribes, or the Luyas, or the people of the coast, or indeed the party. If you look at the constitution of ODM, the leadership is clear who can initiate even conversations about forming coalitions, and it has been done before. So they were told to stop making these sycophantic statements. But I don't know what happens to people when they are given the microphone in the presence of some of these leaders. You can just see somebody who looks giddy and overwhelmed, like some.
When thousands of people are listening,
that's what
to
I'm
you,
wondering.
and you're the one with the soul voice, and everybody.
That's what I'm wondering.
Human nature will.
That's what I'm wondering. I mean, you need to contain your excitement. That's the point. I don't think there is a room in this world that if I were put in and asked to speak, I would be so overwhelmed as to forget myself and the values that I stand for.
You speak because you haven't gotten that position.
No. Let me tell you. Some of them, I understand that, because essentially Ruto is now their boss. He's the president. He's their boss. Some of them are just keen on keeping their jobs and as long as possible. So they feel like they are overcompensating for certain
to remain relevant.
Yes.
Our guest this hour.
I have seen yesterday the Friday Gazette notice, the president made some appointments and one of them has been declined. So I want us to look at the appointments that William Ruto made. Then Timothy Bosire, the ODM chair, has declined William Ruto's job. What is the message? What has he said about it? And what are the cards under the table? So I want us to go through that list quickly. President made 8 fresh appointments across various parastatals and state bodies. And this is saying aiming to streamline and improve service delivery. Through that Gazette notice, Bernard William Chitunga was named as the Chancellor of Cooperative University of Kenya. He will be in the Chancellor for the next 5 years. Ruto also picked Mohamed Ibrahim Elmi as the non-executive chairperson of National Livestock Development and Promotion Service, 3 years. Then Daniel Mwirigi Mimania, the new non-executive chairperson of Kenya National Bureau of Statistics, 3 years. Then George Wanga, I was so curious about this, non-executive chairperson of Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, EPRA, for a period of 3-year tenure. Now, I'm seeing this non-executive chairperson, someone who understands this position in the hierarchy of management of parastatals can explain to us. By the way, can you go to comment section if you understand who is this non-executive chairperson? And then there is an executive chairperson. So I'm wondering, this is a position that is created somewhere, or was it existing before? And what is its jurisdiction? What does it do within the management of a parastatal? Now, this one by George Wanga. George Wanga is the husband to Homa Bay Governor Gladys Wanga. You can see EPRA is under Opiyo Wandayi. So this can be direct influence of Wandayi, who is the Energy CS, because EPRA falls under his docket. So without even much perusal, you can just understand that there's a direct influence from Wanga and Wandayi. Now, these are staunch Raila allies. Wanga appointment triggered revocation of Jackson Boma Ojwang appointment in the same capacity. Jackson Boma Ojwang is a university lecturer who was actually moving around and defending William Ruto around the 2022 general election. Ruto's appointment also, Kadhua Jimmy Kahindi was picked as the new non-executive chairperson, Board of Kenya Fishing Industries Corporation. That was also another. You can see all these are non-executive chairpersons. Kahindi was once a speaker of Kilifi County Assembly during the tenure of Amason Kingi. This could be influence of Kingi and probably under the PA. Probably this has been picked under PA. Kahindi also appointed by Ruto to chair the Public Procurement Regulatory Board. Timothy Bosire was named the non-executive chairperson of Board of Directors of the National Transport and Safety Authority, NTSA. Curiously, Timothy Bosire is the current member of Kitutu Masaba, sitting member of parliament, and ODM national treasurer. There are so many Kenyans out there who don't have jobs. There are so many other, even UDA people, who didn't make to parliament. There are so many others, former cabinet secretaries, that are jobless. But I was so curious that Ruto picked ODM treasurer for this job. Now, information coming now is that he has declined that position, and according to a statement that has been shared by Nation, is that after a meeting with the party leadership, his family members and other advisors, they've arrived at a position to decline William Ruto's appointment for that job. Ahmed Kolosh Ahmed was been an executive chairperson of Board of Directors, Kenya Maritime Authority. Then Edwin Sudi Wandabusi, appointed non-executive chairperson of Kenya Film Commission. Then we have Aisha Jumwa, non-executive chairperson of Kenya Roads Board. Of course, Aisha Jumwa had been in the cold since last year in August. He was a cabinet secretary for public service, then was dropped during when the cabinet was overhauled and when the cabinet was dismissed. So he's come back. She's been given another job now, an executive chairperson of Kenya Roads Board. Now, I'm a bit curious on the decision by President Ruto to pick current member of parliament Timothy Bosire to actually serve as Timothy Bosire to serve as in a parastatal while he's a sitting member of parliament. I'm just wondering, how is he going to oversight? You know, he already have an oversight role. Then himself is being given a parastatal job, surely. How is he going to oversight? And why ODM treasurer? There is a serious discussion about this because ODM gave their 2 deputy party leaders. That was Oparanya, and ODM also handed out, after Oparanya, they also gave Joho. So in the party rank and file of ODM party, they gave 2 senior members of the party. Now, Ruto again came for the treasurer. This is coming at a time when Uhuru Kenyatta is signaling he is not part of that broad-based administration. Raila Odinga has been under pressure to declare full support for Ruto administration if he gets AUC. Something that they've been non-committal about. Even though Ruto handlers say we are supporting Raila Odinga unconditionally. But behind the scene, the deal is that Raila to formally join Ruto. And if ODM is to make an alliance with the new UDA party that NC has joined, then why would they pick the treasurer? There's everything sinister with this motive. And I think Raila Odinga team are the ones that pulled the string. I did tell you this, that in ODM party there are 3 camps. Of course, 2 main camps in another 3rd camp. There is a camp that where Sifuna, Orengo, Anyang' Nyong'o, Caleb Hamisi, and several others belong to, and Babu belong to. These are the fellows that maintain their stand that ODM should not lose its identity by making another mistake of carrying the Ruto baggage in 2027. And ODM must maintain the stand of pushing against Ruto's oppressive regime. So there is that camp, and that is the camp where Timothy Bosire belongs. When there was the last meeting, Timothy Bosire was in that meeting. Now, there is the other camp where Alai, Junet, Upondo Kaluma, my MP Atandi, and several others belong to. These are the fellows that got into government. Because their people are put to a given cabinet slots, they are now marshalling ODM to support the Ruto administration. I maintain it is not for anyone's benefit. It is just for their own individual interest. Tender there, a job for my nephew there, a trip with the CS to Dubai there. It is just those handouts, the dangling carrots that are there. So these are the people that believe, Ruto has to be supported. Now, Timothy Bosire belongs to Sifuna camp. Sifuna, who is the Secretary General of the party, has remained consistent. Come rain, come sunshine, ODM is not going to be swallowed by the UDA. Ladies and gentlemen, why do you think Raila Odinga has instructed Timothy Bosire to decline that job? Kindly subscribe to our channel, click the notification bell and like our videos. I want to say thank you very much for supporting our podcast. Let's continue supporting. We're at 98,600. Imagine for us to clock 100,000, we only need now 1,400 subscribers. So make sure subscribe. Subscription is absolutely free. But advantage here is when you subscribe to our channel, you'll be able to receive notifications, and so you don't miss any of our well analyzed analysis. So kindly subscribe to our channel. I want to tell you this. William Ruto is keen to mutilate the ODM party. And after absorbing the ANC, I did mention in this platform that Musalia Mudavadi committed a political suicide and has dug his own grave by making that. And I wonder why Musalia will fall for that, while the political history of this country is enough to tell leaders that the coalitions don't normally work post the presidency of the reigning president. Jubilee, after Uhuru Kenyatta, it died. Uhuru Kenyatta left it. The same person even to leave it was this William Ruto. He left it not for any reason, because he didn't want to carry the baggage of incumbency. So he walked out of government and ran anti-Uhuru narratives. Went against Uhuru full throttle. So as we talk, William Ruto understands that after absorbing ANC, the next target should be ODM party. And I think Raila Odinga team are looking at that, because surely Timothy Bosire team are saying they were not even consulted. They were not consulted about it. And I'm wondering, if you want to say that this thing is not being done in a good, I'm seeing it a lie hitting and insulting anyone who dare come against the president and tell the president this is wrong. Why don't you give that job to allies? The people who are defending the Kenya Kwanza administration, the tooth and nail. Why don't you give this job to ally? They will come out and defend you. Why don't you give this job to someone? Why must it be Timothy Bosire? And Timothy Bosire is the ODM treasurer. So ODM has realized that, and I think that's why they're pulling out. They're telling Bosire, you don't need to take that position. Number two, I think ODM is sending a message to William Ruto. There is a message that Sifuna keeps saying, that ODM will not fold to join that party. ODM will not join that party. So Sifuna is sending that message and is telling the president, no, thank you, the ODM is not going to fold to join. This is part of the attempt. If you ask me, the need to push, the move to take him was part of the attempt. And remember, people have been rejecting. You've seen Munyaka rejecting. You've seen Millicent Tubango was living in some job and she rejected. Now she's taken the other one. We are not even sure that she's accepted it. We've seen several others. Yes, West Mugirango MP. There was a West Mugirango MP, I can't remember the name, recently, also declined a Ruto job. So remember, one of the things going on here is the Kisii card is underway. William Ruto understands that if Matiang'i is in the picture and Raila also has Simba Arati, then it will be difficult to crack the Kisii nut. It will be difficult. And I'm wondering, even if you want to take people, there are leaders in UDA who are also MPs. If this position can be given to a sitting MP, there are also UDA MPs that can be given. Why give it to the ODM? It was a full issue of also playing the Kisii card. And lastly, Raila, I think Ruto wants to infiltrate the ODM financial standing. That's why they're going after the treasurer. So after you take, you should not even be able to manage. You cannot be an ODM treasurer, and at the same time, you are chairing a parastatal. It's not even allowed in law, surely. It's not even allowed in law. So I think it was fine for the Odinga team to decide they're not taking that position.